What's going on, everyone? My name is John with Value and Mortar, and I'm an economist. Today we're talking value traps. What's A lot of investors think a low price means a good deal, but in the stock market, cheap and undervalued are not the same thing. Some stocks are cheap because the market's missing something. Other stocks are cheap because the business is getting worse. That second group is where people get hurt. And this matters because a bad stock can stay cheap for years. Even worse, it can keep falling while investors tell themselves it's a bargain. So today I want to walk through 7 red flags I look for before I buy any so-called cheap stock. Quick disclaimer before we start, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not financial, tax, legal, or accounting advice. So first, what is a value trap? A value trap is a stock that looks inexpensive based on metrics like price to earnings, price to book, price to sales. But the business has deeper problems that can destroy future returns. In simple terms, it looks like a deal, but it's actually a trap. Red flag number 1 is declining revenue. Revenue is just the money a company brings in from selling its products or services. If revenue keeps falling year after year, that tells me demand may be shrinking. So competition may be getting stronger, or the company may be losing relevance. A low valuation on a shrinking business is not always attractive. Sometimes the market is pricing in a real problem. Now, one bad quarter alone doesn't scare me, but if I see a clear pattern of falling sales across multiple quarters or multiple years, I pay attention. If management keeps promising a turnaround and it never shows up in the numbers, that's a warning sign. Red flag number 2 is deteriorating margins. Margin is the percentage of revenue a company keeps after certain costs. Think of it like this. If a business sells more but keeps less, that's not real progress. Gross margin, operating margin, and net margin can all tell you whether the business is becoming stronger or weaker. If margins are shrinking, maybe input costs may be rising. Maybe the company has less pricing power, or maybe competition is forcing lower prices. A strong business usually has some ability to protect profitability. If it cannot, that cheap stock may be cheap for a reason. Red flag number 3 is too much debt. Debt is borrowed money, and debt becomes dangerous when a company has trouble covering interest payments or refinancing. This is especially important when rates are high or credit conditions get tighter. A weak balance sheet can turn a slowdown into a full-blown crisis. A balance sheet is basically a snapshot of what a company owns, what it owes, and what is left for shareholders. If I see heavy debt, low cash, and weak earnings, I get cautious fast. Because when a company is financially stretched, common shareholders are not first in line when things go wrong. Red flag number 4 is negative free cash flow. Free cash flow is the cash left over after a company pays for the spending needed to maintain or grow the business. Put simply, it's the money that can be used for debt reduction, buybacks, dividends, or reinvestment. A company can show accounting profits and still burn cash. That's why I never stop at earnings. If a business constantly needs outside money just to stay alive, that's a major warning sign. Cheap stocks with weak cash generation often become even cheaper. Red flag number 5 is share dilution. Dilution happens when a company issues more shares, which reduces ownership percentage for existing shareholders. So even if the company survives, your piece of the pie can get smaller. And this matters a lot with struggling companies. If management keeps raising capital by issuing new shares, they may be protecting the business, but they're often hurting shareholders. When I see a company with falling performance and a rising share count, I take that very seriously. Red flag number 6 is the absence of a moat. A moat is a durable competitive advantage that helps a company defend profits from competitors. That can come from a strong brand, low costs, network effects, high switching costs, or something unique in the business model. If a company has no moat, then lower prices alone will not save it. Competitors can take market share, customers can leave easily, and profits can stay under pressure. A good company at a fair price is often better than a weak company at a dirt cheap price. Red flag number 7 is poor management behavior. This one is underrated. If management keeps missing targets, overpromising, making bad acquisitions, paying themselves too much, or constantly changing the story, I pay attention. Management quality matters because capital allocation matters. Capital allocation is just how leadership chooses to use the company's money. Great management can strengthen a business over time. Bad management can destroy even a decent business relatively quickly. Now, here's the important part. One red flag doesn't automatically make a stock uninvestable. Investing is about weighing the full picture. A cyclical business may have a temporary margin pressure. A turnaround may have one ugly year before improving. The key is whether the problem is temporary, fixable, and already more than priced in. So when I look at a cheap stock, I ask a few simple questions. Are revenue and cash flow stabilizing? Is the balance sheet strong enough to survive? Is management credible? Does this company have a real advantage? And most importantly, am I buying a business or am I buying a story? That last question matters because stories are exciting, but businesses produce returns. A lot of investors lose money because they confuse hope with analysis. And on this channel, we're trying to make calculated moves, not emotional ones. If you want a quick framework, here's the sequence. First, check revenue. Second, check margins. Third, check debt. Fourth, check free cash flow. Fifth, check dilution. Sixth, check moat. Seventh, check management. If several of those look weak at the same time, the stock may not be undervalued, it may just be broken. The biggest takeaway from this video is simple. Low valuation is not enough. A cheap multiple should make you curious, not confident. Confidence should come after you study the business. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and check out my video on how I find undervalued stocks because that one pairs perfectly with this topic. This has been John with Value and Mortar, signing off.